What's up, everyone? Once again, this is It Takes a Christian Village. I'm Nate here with you all, and I want to introduce one of the three podcasts that this particular company will now be having and displaying and uploading on social media. This particular podcast is called Building Up the Village. Now, we also have two other podcasts. One special edition is Love and Relationships, hosted by me and my beautiful wife. And then there is a very special one near and dear to my heart called Village Convo, which deals with a roundtable of young people discipling other young people, having various conversations. So I'm gonna go back to the love and relationship one that me and my wife would be well, first of all, hold up. Let me introduce the co-host to Building Up the Village. What's up, Chad? What's going on, man?
Hello. How you doing today?
Hey, man, I'm making it out, and I don't care when this is aired, but it's hot outside. So
Yeah.
anytime you away from the heat, hey, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And here's the thing. This guy, Chad, he is the one who'll be hosting the very first podcast that I mentioned, Building Up the Village. But let me segue into real quickly what the love and relationship one will consist of. And that's various couples, married or, if they're seriously dating, especially leading to being married. Christian individuals with their stories on how their relationships have started unfolding, and where they're ending up at the moment that we speak with them. So I'm excited about hearing some of these very, very interesting stories of relationships, whether it's married for 5 months or married for 50 years. I'm excited about that, and that's something that we're going to be doing and trying to drop on Wednesdays. And the first one is coming out August the 5th. Now that youth convo, that's my kids on that one. Some dynamic young Christian. I don't want to say boys and girls, so I'm gonna say young men and women that have some really, really good stories. They're very articulate, but here's the thing: they are truly saved, real Christians that are trying to live life the proper way, and they have a lot of different things that they deal with that at their life point right now, the age that they are, that Chad can't relate to because he's old. But that's a whole nother segment. I'm not going to do a fourth podcast about old people like here. But that's my boy. I love him. But those kids, they really have an amazing story, and their first podcast is coming out on August the 6th. They will be there's being uploaded on social media each Thursday. But me and my boy Chad, we talk more about sports, but that's not all. You see, I got that smile out of him, but that's not all we talk about. And we're gonna have some very spirited conversations, some different type of people, guests on the show to interview, to pick their brains, to hear their stories. What's going on, Chad? We've talked about this for a while. This is not our first rodeo. We've done these types of podcasts and interviews, and even in a Bible study type of format. So how you feel about this podcast coming up, Building Up the Village? And incidentally, newsflash, he's the one came up with the title. So I thought that was so indicative, especially who we are as a company. It takes a Christian village. So it's like, well, look, we got to build up the village. So let's do this. So what's up, man? What you think? What you think?
Well, I'm excited about the whole thing. Also, I think where we're headed with everything that's been planned and everything that's already in the works. I'm excited with what God is doing, how God is using people, and how God is lining things up. Um, so ultimately, I think it's going to be very beneficial. But I wanted to get from you, before we go any further, just a little insight about the company, because I don't want to give it out. I want the people to hear it come from you. It takes a Christian village is, to me, one of the greatest companies so far that you came up with. Um, and I like it because what it stands for, and I just want the people to know exactly what God has blessed you with and how you envision it, and so they can hear a little bit about the company itself. You know.
Well, I appreciate that. The company itself, again, it takes a Christian village, and I came up with the title because it's going to take believers to cultivate, gather around, help out. We use the term a lot of times, my brother's keeper. We say iron sharpens iron, help us one towards another. But we really need to put that into effect the right way as Christian individuals. And what better way than to be on different platforms, hearing other people's stories and their situations, and in an effort to try to help somebody along the way. But podcasts aren't the only things that we do. We really deal in something called PEP, which is podcasts, events, and productions. Now, right now, we're definitely concentrating on the podcast portion of it, being online, getting the message out. It is a form of networking as well as trying to help people. But we will be doing events and different productions consisting of stage plays. Um, if God see fit, maybe one of those plays may turn into a movie or web series or something like that. So we're keeping things open ended and an open mind in all that, but by having the vision that God is orchestrating for us to do it and to go forth with it, because we can never get in front of God. I've
Hmm.
tried that a few times. It just don't work. It don't work. And events, and I recently I've had the pleasure of doing a what do you call on the spot interviews and cover an event for someone else who was having a stage play, and took some pictures, did some video, did some interviews, and that was very, very enlightening, and it was fun to do because you're promoting something that other people are doing. So it's not always about just our company. And me and you, oh man, we've known each other for what, 106 years, 203, something like that. But we've known each other. You've been with me when I was doing stage plays and the productions. Yeah, it's so much that when all the actresses and actors gone out that had fun and left the
Yeah.
stage, and all the all the audience is gone in the parking lot halfway home. We break it down the stage, throw it in the U-Haul, the set, send it back, getting stuff situated. So we've been there to experience those things. So and I'm just trying to illustrate our longevity, and even in
Mhm.
doing events, covering different youth events, different stories, and things of that sort. So all about coming together for a common goal, and a common goal clearly is heaven and the Lord Jesus Christ. So anything we can do with that. So what's you serve as the general manager for me, and again, I definitely appreciate um, everything you do, and again, it's been simplistic because we do have that
Okay.
longevity. What's your take on everything in the direction that we're going right now?
I mean, I love it. I love everything that's put together. I see God using it in a mighty way. I like the fact that that you were able to kind of get us to where we can have a name like Pep Squad, so we know off the top what we about. And so those sorts of things and the way that God has orchestrated it, that we've been in, like you said, in plays, filming, production, those sorts of things. We've been dealing with the youth for a long time, actors and actresses, helping people develop, helping them grow, building camera crews and sound crews, and working with people all across the board in entertainment and performance. So I just, to me, having what we have and having the ability to give people a platform and a voice, or to be able to share their story, what God has done for them, some of the things that they have seen and witnessed God do for others,
Right.
and then and then more importantly, like you just said, you deal with authors, you deal with directors, you deal with musicians and things of that nature, even allowing them that opportunity to express how God was able to work their gift and bring their gift forward. And I think by doing the interviews and by having the podcasts and things of that nature, just gives us the ability to help people see how God can move sometimes. And I think sometimes that's important to motivate us sometimes to step out on faith, to motivate us sometimes to do what God is actually tugging at us to do. And by providing a platform for youth and for adults to do those things, I think that's also a good thing, because oftentimes we want to do stuff, but we don't have a means of getting it done. You know what I'm saying? So, you providing that opportunity for the kids and for the, adults to kind of work their way into those things with the Pep Squad, I think is great. And I like the fact that you got multiple podcasts. I like the fact that you have the chance to impact the youth in a way that you do, having them meet and have meetings and things of that nature, so that they can continue to get better, and iron sharpen iron, those sorts of things. Um, I just think it's a great platform, and I appreciate you working through all that it takes in order to get to the level where we have it right now. So I'm excited about the whole thing.
Yeah, that's interesting that you made mention about the authors and the musicians, because I got them tapped in for an interview that me and you're gonna do with them. I got
Hmm.
someone who's I'm noticing that she got some dynamic music out
Hmm.
there, and someone who just written, I believe, their second, if not their third book. So so what's your thoughts, man?
Well, come to think about it, you also not a you don't just write plays. You're also an author yourself. You got a book right now. That's very important. It kind of was the to me the catalyst for creating the company, to be honest. But I think where your book is, it kind of fit within the framework of everything that we're trying to do here with It Takes a Christian Village. Tell us a little bit about that.
So this particular book, entitled "Irregular Family Bond," and it's a story dealing with some of the things I learned, from kids and working as a dean in the school, and more so working at the facility I talked about earlier that had mentally disturbed kids. Uh, I noticed that a lot of households um, are dysfunctional. A lot of households are tumultuous and very damaging to our children, to the youth. And the book speaks of a story, talks of a story, illustrates how these five young men of different races um, come together and basically create an irregular family bond with each other, friendship. They call each other brothers within themselves because of their home life
Mm.
is very horrific to to put it that way, and some of it's worse than that. But yeah, the book is on Amazon,
Okay.
and we gotta take a segment and just really talk more about that, really dive. a lot more into what that's about. And yeah, I did enjoy writing that, the characters, put myself in their shoes, and also trying to put the reader in their shoes so they can really feel how these young men are feeling in their adverse situation. So
Well,
so
that
yeah,
makes sense. That makes sense. I actually like that. You know, I'm a big fan of your writing. So everything you write, I'm a big fan of. But to that right there, that project, that book is important because I think one thing that it reflects is that it's not always about where you are, but sometimes about where you choose to be. You know what I'm saying? And if you choose to be a part of a group, choose to be a part of a family, make somebody a part of your family, choose to have a connection with people outside of your family or even inside of your family. That's kind of up to you, and that's a choice that we all have to kind of make. And I like the fact that they all from different backgrounds, different races, and
right,
different cultures, and got different problems. You know what I'm
right,
saying? I'm pretty sure some
exactly.
things that yeah that they have some things in common, but to have different problems and issues, and to be able to be there to support one another, and then to the point to where they build the actual family bond. I think is
Right.
important because I think throughout life when we pick our friends, we don't necessarily pick them to become family, but you know, they some friends end up becoming like family. They at every
Yeah,
function. They know
that's
just
it.
as much or more than a family member would know. Um, so those are some important things that you captured in that, and I like the fact that the book is already out on Amazon. You can go get it, or you're gonna go to the website that we have and go get it. And then or reach out to us on social media if you want a copy of it. And I like the fact that it is out there now and the people can go ahead and get that product and it really supports the Christian village itself. And I like the fact that you're an author doing those things and using your gifts, skills, and talents to be able to help somebody else by making certain people aware and, like you said, make them put them in the shoes of the people that go through these things, even though they haven't gone through it, so that they can kind of have that level of grace, mercy, and compassion that they need for one another.
And we also got, someone we're interviewing that is a writer as well, from a production standpoint, and she's written
Yeah.
many plays, and is actually the young lady who's over our production component or department within the company. And Latoya,
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to interviewing her about her projects, her past projects, the one that she just recently did, and then some of the ones that she has coming up, as well as the ones she'll be overseeing uh, with this particular company. So we have a plethora of individuals, and even going back to the love and relationship podcast, the different ones that will the different couples we had lined up, some amazing stories, and I'm not going to tell. I'm not aiming to tell a story. I'll let them tell a story. Yeah, I got to come back and hear, but it's some tremendous things, and some things you can grow from. And I even have a teenage couple that has
Okay.
been dating for a while, and that's I know a lot of their story, but that particular one, I think a lot of other teenage Christians are definitely going to need to hear their story, their dedication to God, and their walk individually in Christ, as well as how they do it together as a Christian couple, and that's they have an amazing story as well. And just the youth itself, different things that they're coming up with as far as matter of fact, their first podcast, um, and it's in broken up in parts. And their podcast was youth and teen Christian dating and relationships. And the first part of that comes out uh, Thursday, the 6th of August. from the Village Convo, the youth discipling youth squad, and they have a lot of good points that they made. I'm waiting to let y'all listen to that. But they coming up with their next subject that they brought to my attention yesterday, and I think this one is a interesting one. And I totally agree with them having that conversation and sitting around talking about it because it's really up my alley of some things I used to do in the civilian sector working. Um, and their title was dealing with adverse childhood experiences, different things that youth go through from a psychological, emotional standpoint. And I was really, really impressed that they even came to me with that that subject matter, and that speaks to the young people that we do have. That's part of what we do, that they're thinking on those lines, as well as expressing this is something they're going through, and that's what we as adults, takes a Christian village, have to recognize that our kids got some situations, some things that they need to talk about, they need to express that they're going through, or they know somebody is going through.
Yeah,
So
no, I think that's
I'm
great.
excited too, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think yeah, no, I think that's great that they're doing that. You know how I feel about, like those ACEs, adverse childhood
Yes.
experiences. Because when I was made aware of it, it kind of made perfect sense. That there are some things that you may experience at a younger age that may affect you as you grow, whether you consciously allow it to affect your decisions, or control you, or it's happening subconsciously and you're not really knowing and you're not intentionally doing anything about it. But it's good to know that they are aware that those things play a part and how they turn out. And I do think it's important that we all address it and that we all get a chance to see what they're saying, so that we can kind of help them with that. But to be honest, that's something that a lot of adults deal with too, because it never got addressed. Therefore, they're still living the outcomes and the results of these same issues that never got addressed. And it's good that you bring it to the forefront where the youth can bring it up. We can discuss it amongst ourselves as well, with that understanding that they're sharing their real selves with us, so that we can really try to fix some of these problems, because ultimately it is on us to help us. You know what I'm saying? It go back to what you're saying about it takes a Christian village, which the saying comes from, it takes a village to raise a kid, but it takes a village to do a lot of stuff. And
Right.
if a village is doing it, then you almost certain that it's gonna get done, because it's not one person being burnt out. It's a bunch of people working towards one common goal, intentionally. So I like that mindset, and it talks about and it speaks to community, unity, and just coming together. You know what I'm saying? I think by having the youth state their parts, we can come together to try to find some solutions and get some help. And I think that's very important. So I'm excited about them being on that path, them picking some of the topics they're talking about. Youth dating is definitely a big topic. I'm glad they're talking about that, because if you don't address it, people are just going to continue to do it any old type of way. And
Right.
if you can hear from other people what's best practices or what not to do, you can kind of avoid a lot and be able to deal with things a whole lot better, and then be able to grow from there. So those are the things that I think are important. So I'm glad the youth combo is going on with that particular mindset, and still actually out there trying to make a difference in their community amongst their demographic. I like what we got going on with building a village, because right now this is where we at. We have to build a village. So as we build, it's going to be us talking to people that are actually participants and also building the village. They're actually out there doing the work. Christians and believers and people that are actually standing on the front line, put in the work, building the foundations, being a part of these movements and stuff like that, so that the people around them can get help. So I like the fact that we have the ability to kind of establish that, bring that to light, allowing people to know those things. And then, of course, adult relationships. I like that special edition. You know what I'm saying? Because some people do need to hear other people's testimonies and stories. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be some great ones. Because you done
Woo,
told me about a couple
man.
of couples. You
Oh
didn't give
yeah.
me all the details, but it sounds like it's going to definitely be a good one, something worth
Yeah.
watching, tuning in for, and trying to get some insight. And and the fact that you and your wife definitely going to be hosting those, I think that's also going to be great. Couple to couple type stuff, so you can kind of bring out some of the best of what they really want to talk about. I
Right.
like those things, and then of course being able to have the platform like we do to do seminars, workshops, and all of those things, and actually help people and give them something in their community that they might not have necessarily had, but also help them get connected to the resources, because that's a big thing in what we do. You know, we can't do everything, but there's other people out there that do stuff, that we can connect to and help our people connect to, and that's
Absolutely.
all a part of building up the village as well. So making sure that we all have the access to certain resources that can allow us to grow and become better. You know what I'm saying?
And
So
it's
all of that is
interesting you
good
said
stuff.
that. It's interesting you said that, man, because as you were talking, I had to write this down concerning the resources and help and agencies that can address certain things. And we were talking specifically about when the kids came up concerning the adverse childhood experience. So what I need to do, I need to make sure once we do have that conversation in that episode that I try to reach out to some type of agency, some type of counselor, someone who's in that field of expertise that's standing by to even have something to say on that. So I gotta do that, and because that makes a lot of sense. Because I'm not an ex. I've worked in that field dealing with kids with that particular situation, but I'm not a licensed psychologist or therapist um, that can effectively and legally, help people with that. And so that's just something I was thinking about, man. I gotta definitely be on that, and we need to make that particular show that has to pop, and it also has to um, be beneficial, once the show is over and done with, what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
and that's
we have
looking out.
spiritual help. We have mental health specialists that we're connected to. So we definitely make sure that we when it comes to us doing our part of the
Right.
podcast, when we do building up the village, that we can show clips from the youth and make sure that we address
Right.
some of those issues, so that they can be taken care of. But yeah, that's a major thing, because mental health is a real deal.
It is.
It can take some people out, especially one thing I heard today on TV, that veterans have a major or a high suicide rate.
Hmm.
And knowing that, and both of us, being veterans,
Right.
I think it's important to also know that through what we do, through means of putting together a skit or means to putting together a commercial or going out to these events and filming some of these things that we do, we're really trying to help everybody that has any type of issue, that can be solved. But we're definitely involved with the youth, making sure that they have the help that they need. But whatever medical professionals that we can bring on to talk or to give insight, we're looking to help all of those people that are in need. We are an entire village, so everybody from the elderly to the youth and everybody in between. Is God's goal for us to be able to work with each other.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. So again, I'm definitely looking forward to um, this road, this journey that God has planned out and purpose for me, for us, and everyone that's involved. And we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have a good time with with this. And again, appreciate you being on board, being part of the process, being part of the vision, um, because it's very important to have individuals like-minded and aiming for the same goals. Um, you know I got to do a sports analogy. You already know I got to do that. Man, you can't you can't have a quarterback intentionally throwing interceptions and stuff, man. The ball going the other way. I'm mad at this team. Let me throw the ball to the other team. That's crazy. You got,
Yeah, no,
you got to be like,
that's not a good look.
when it,
Not at
when
all.
it's, look, when it's 2 seconds left and you got to score a touchdown, man, everybody got to be in the same mindset, especially when it's cold. It's like 20 below. The snow is on the ground. And check this out. And you a fair weather team that
You ain't trying to
that you
be out
can
there
be in the
either.
sunshine, man. You
Uh,
gotta stay focused.
yeah, that's true.
But but yeah, we have a lot of great things. Right now, I just want to do a special shout out to Minister Tammy Padilla, who has this amazing podcast that I had the privilege of being one of her guests. And it wasn't just about me being one of her guests. It's about what she is doing, and as we were talking about, um, it takes a Christian village and coming around and trying to do things for people. She's been doing this amazing job for since COVID, and her platform is amazing. She has some amazing guests, and I definitely promote and encourage people to watch her show and listen to some of her guests. And it's not. Let me get this. Let me just say this and get this out the way. It's not because I was a guest on the show, but because our conversation before and after it, down to earth, lady, really loves the Lord and is striving, and she thoroughly encouraged me. Me being someone who's just really starting to do this podcasting full-fledged this year. So I just wanted to give a shout out to her. I know I'm going to put her stuff probably popping up or already popped up on the screen, so we're going to make sure that happens, and just to support her as well. So you got anything, man? Anything
No,
else?
I think that's a good thing. I appreciate it as well. Yeah, and that's what we do. Like we should be continuing to promote those people that promote the Lord and do God's work. And I think that's a good thing. And as much as we can do of that, this is what we do with It Takes a Christian Village. And so I'm looking forward to meeting her and more people like that and continuing to do what we do best. You know what I'm saying? Serve God through the means that He has given us. You know, so I'm excited about the whole thing. I'm thankful for the opportunity to be a part, and I'm looking forward to getting all of this stuff done. My one thing is, I know we're in the process of putting all this together. How can people stay connected or get connected, or where can they look for us at?
They can follow us on YouTube, on Facebook, and on our personal business website. So
Okay.
I think they've got some Instagrams and
Okay.
other social media
Okay.
platform. But yeah, they can check us out, um, and just it's not about supporting us as individuals or hosts who's doing a podcast. Our core is those young people, and to support them, to help them, or even any adults who are having some type of situation or problems. This is a Christian effort globally, not one-sided, not one-dimensional, just globally,
Mhm.
just helping each other, and any other, as you said, is what we do. Any other platforms or people that have some type of mindset of helping other people, I don't have a problem, promoting them and saying something and making it mentioned here on this platform, because that's what That's what it's here for. So we don't have to just interview someone. I can hear something that someone did and just bam, pop their stuff up on the screen and get them promoted. Now, going back to sports analogy, if I'm for one team, I'm not promoting another team that is a rival team of my team. So, and I ain't gonna say what team because I want everybody to watch this. So I don't want nobody hating. They're like, oh, so you like them? I ain't gonna watch. I'll just play. So I keep that to myself. But I thank each and every one of you for just coming out, listening, pay attention to us on those days. We're trying to drop stuff, building up the village on Tuesdays, love and relationships on Wednesdays, and the core, my babies, those kids with Village Convo, they are the youth, discipling youth squad. Those will be on Thursdays. So keep paying attention, keep checking us out, and more importantly, keep us in your prayers.
Amen.